Hello, I'm Noel. This is Antonia from Boxtail Soup Theatre Company. This is, of course, another Boxtail Scoop. We're just going to keep doing that forever. Is it going to evolve any further?
I have no idea. I think that's probably up to you. You made it up in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we're stuck in a rut. Maybe we just need to ditch it in favour of something more exciting and new, something shinier. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed the stuff we've been doing about Gulliver over the last few weeks. We have tremendously enjoyed working on Gulliver, and we can't wait to get back to work on it really and actually get on with it and get the show finished, because all of the ideas we came up with really excited us, I think. However, this week and at the moment we have moved on, in fact. So
yes, we've moved on. We started working on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland because we've got some performances of that booked in for the first week in June, which is exciting because there'll be first live performances for a long while, since Christmas, I think, actually.
Yeah, they'll be at Brighton Fringe, so for anybody who's nearby, I'll pop a link in the description as well.
And we first made this show, it was the second show we ever made, so it was way back when, in 2013 I think we made it. And it's safe to say at the time we didn't have very many resources available to us, so we made the show in such a way that it kind of now needs a little bit of repair. You may remember a few vlogs ago we showed you a pear-shaped head that we'd made, and I think the last time we showed it to you we'd put on some demonstrative ears and a little nose. Yeah,
just rough cardboard cutouts to give you an idea of what
it might look like as a rabbit. So we've continued with that one. We'll show you him here. He doesn't actually fit in the frame. He's not finished, by the way, disclaimer, but he doesn't fit in the frame because he's actually quite tall, so we're going to do a separate shot of him full size. But there you can see how we've developed the head. So Noel, you've added stuff.
Yeah, so with the pear-shaped head, I'll try and throw a shot at that up so we can remember what it was like before. But very simply, I've added on the ears, the nose, built that up a little bit, built the cheeks up, and obviously added on these little pince-nez glasses. Pince-nez? How do you pronounce that? And it works as well as we hoped, I think.
Yeah, he looks really nice. I mean, we've decided that this is definitely the biggest head we're going to make. We're going to make the others a little bit smaller. Yeah. It works for the White Rabbit, but we think for some of the other characters it's a little bit, because he's actually ended up being quite tall, because I had to then make the body proportional to the head to a degree. And he is going to have, now he's going to have little eyebrows, I think, and he'll have, he'll be spray painted. So much like our frog puppet for Little Grim Tales, with these ones, to make them a bit more robust and so that they can withstand a little bit more weather beating, we wanted to spray paint finish them. So it'll be a light coating really of a nice white colour with some little details in pink and black. And then his body, we've changed to a fabric body, again for the same reason. The original bodies were cardboard, and we'll show you those in a bit, but for that reason of really the sort of longevity and the idea that if they get wet they're kind of okay. We know from the frog from our Brighton shows last year when he got soaking that he survived quite well. Yeah. So we wanted to try and weatherproof them a little bit. So he's well on the way to being finished. We're quite pleased with
And are we going to add, did you say a little bit of wool detail?
Oh yeah, sorry I didn't. Yes, we're going to add some sort of wool, fluffy wool, just to give him that kind of bit of fluff back.
Yeah, a bit of like movement and a bit of fluff. But
we'll show you a better shot of him.
Yeah.
And then we've got other things. So we've finished. Well, not finished him, but he's well on the way. And then you've made this. So this is a demonstration of this sort of a different size. Is there one for the mouse?
Yes, this will be the mouse, I think. Yeah.
So you can see the same pear-shaped base, and then I think you're going to add ears.
Yeah, with that one, in fact, we covered the pear shape first, because we wanted to see what it would look like when it was covered and if it was the right kind of thing, and have a little experiment with it. Now that we know it works, I'm probably going to actually build some of the animal features onto this one before we start covering it, so we can do it all in one go. So I probably will add the ears and at least the basis for the nose shape.
And then we can always build a little further out.
Probably will build it out further, yeah. But
so that's on the way, and also I have a pair of legs here that were originally for the rabbit, but then because of scale, because of the head being larger than we thought it was, these looked a little bit puny on him, so they'll probably be for the mouse. But you can see there, the same idea as I think we talked through the fabric puppet that I'd made before for a music video, and these are the same principle. So there for that one. So you can see that's all well underway, but we thought it would be nice maybe to show you a little bit of what they were like before. So when we very first made puppets, they were for our production of Northanger Abbey, and they were made of recycling and whatever we had to hand in our home.
And did we started making them in 2012 or 11?
Can't quite remember. I can't remember.
When we actually
I think
started
2012.
Yeah.
Potentially, I can't remember. But they. So this is Mr. Allen from. I can't stand him up, can I? Because he won't be all full in shot. But he's from Northanger Abbey. He's wearing his Northanger clothes. And he ended up, in fact, playing the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
But before we talk about that, let me show you. We've got another one of these guys who's actually naked, so you can see what the body and everything was made of, and how very rudimentary they are.
So this guy, in fact, he played John Thorpe in Northanger Abbey, and this is one of, if not the first puppet. I think we both worked on a head at the same time.
Yes, you made John Thorpe and I made Mrs. Allen's head.
So this, for me, was the very first head that I made ever. And then, the body and stuff, obviously, is very, very...
I mean, you can see it's pizza box, toilet rolls.
And this has been refreshed, because they got so battered, in fact, that
Yeah.
a couple of years afterwards, we actually got some more pizza boxes and refreshed the bodies themselves. I think the arms may be the original arms that have lasted all that time.
Yeah, those are definitely the original hands. I mean, the joints have been changed. I mean, that was the good thing about them, though, in that sense, because they were made of very basic materials. They were actually very easy to repair. You know, if they ever broke, even just before a show, you could quickly replace the joint with another piece of box.
So the head itself is, very basically made by covering a balloon with papier-mâché. We didn't build any frames. We didn't do any shaping to it or anything like that. Then we built a very angular nose with a bit of cardboard and just cut a piece out of the balloon shape to make this mouth, which is hinged on the outside.
Even like hinge, you can even see the hinge for the mouth.
Yeah.
And that you can see where the paper's coming away and everything. And then their eyes were some buttons from old seat cushions.
Yeah. Their necks the heads are attached with little stretchy treasury tags. The kind
They
of
weren't
things
originally though. They were originally attached with string.
Oh, they were. Yeah. They
Yeah,
were.
and then in fact the string started to fray because the edges of the puppet head were so sharp that they started to wear away at the string, and so we switched to treasury tags
because they had a little bit of stretch,
and because we could keep a box of them and quickly switch them out.
And I think it's, but you're looking at that, you can see, where we basically didn't have any resources. We didn't have a lot of money to invest in making the show. It was unknown to us how successful it would be or whether we would see any kind of return from it. So we were literally just using whatever we could lay hands on and whatever we could easily get. We had a few toilet rolls, a couple of pizza boxes lying around. That was what we used. We bought a little bit of PVA and maybe some
and a
split
packet of
pins
balloons,
and a packet of balloons, and that was about it. But what was lovely about that is that I think the fact that we were able to make something that I think is still quite beautiful out of it. I mean, once you put the costumes on them and everything, they're very charming, I think. It meant that it really fed into the aesthetic and the feel of the rest of our work.
And the way that we
going
work,
forwards.
I think. We always try to be as resourceful as we can be and not use things where we don't need them or make sure things get used multiple times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Alice, because it was the second show then, we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the budget to make a full cast of bespoke puppets for the show. So although we made a couple of bespoke puppets, we made Alice herself and we made some flowers and...
or the space, because we were working out of a one-bedroom flat. So.
Exactly, so we didn't have either of those things, nor the space to store it if we did. So we decided to basically use these puppets, the ones we'd already made, and adapt them. So their hair comes off, and so we basically gave them wigs. So this was the original White Rabbit wig that went onto one of those puppet heads. So you can see we've tried to keep the essence of him with the new one. We've got the same shape for the nose and the little pince-nez, and the same sort of shape for the ears. And then in fact I'm going to be using some of this wool to decorate the new one so that he's still got elements of the old puppet. But they were, this was painstakingly knotted.
That was a lot of work.
Onto the thing.
That took you a long time. Yeah.
But then, they worked really well. I mean, this was another piece that sat on the face of the puppet to make the dodo.
And I think maybe if you grab Mr. Allen, we can just kind of, I know it's not
that.
made for him, but we
No.
can sort of illustrate how it changes the face completely. And actually,
yeah, so you can imagine with some costume and with this on him, you know, they suddenly look very different. Just about to see. It's not made for him, it's made for another one. He's got a really small head.
Much bigger head.
But yeah, so that was how we did it. And we had no idea how many shows we would do of that one even. And that show, you know, they've toured the world, in fact.
Those puppets have you know, they've been all over the UK. They've also been
to America,
Europe,
they've been to China.
They've been to China. So they really have got some mileage on them.
And so if you look closely at any of these pieces even, there's so much tape and things where we've had to re-stick them back together and repair them as we go. But to give the show a new lease of life, we thought it was time really to remake them, but with the spirit of the way they were made previously. So still using recycling. Their bodies are made of a recycled old sheet, so they still got the essence of who they were, but just hopefully a little bit more robust, and so the show can have another life, I think.
It's that extra little bit of refinement as you're able to take everything that we've learned since then, everything that we've done on the way, and kind of apply those lessons and apply those techniques to making something that refreshes that show.
So there we are. Sorry, we went on a little bit of a reminiscence there, but hopefully it was at least a little bit interesting. We'll now show you a full scale version of the rabbit so you can see what he looks like. And we'll be carrying on with this for the next few weeks until obviously those shows in June. So we will show you how we get on with the mouse and hopefully a few more puppets next week.
Yeah. In the meantime, thanks for watching. If you've subscribed recently, thanks very much. It's gradually creeping up, so thank you very much. And if you have enjoyed the videos, do give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, or if you're new, possibly even subscribe. Thanks very much for watching.